What's going on, YouTube? Back with another video on this beautiful Saturday, comparing some numbers. Is it true that if you have the latest greatest shoe shine, a brand new truck that's getting, 10, 12, 30 miles to the gallon, as advertised by the suit and tie guys when they, show you all the fancy videos of how aerodynamic the truck is, and they got it in some type of wind tunnel, and they advertise it on the dealership lot as, 12 miles to the gallon. And you hear everybody telling you just how much better fuel mileage they getting. Is that better than an old raggedy truck, like, for example, my 1997 pushing that great 12.7 Detroit 60 series, where my truck averages about 6.5 miles to the gallon. But, some people say it gets, 3 miles to the gallon, 4 miles to the gallon, or they don't say my truck do, but they say on average most older trucks get 3 to 4 miles to the gallon. Me personally, I don't know of any truck they ever made that gets 3 miles to the gallon or 4 miles to the gallon. But maybe you guys do. I don't know. But let's look at some videos and compare the data. Okay, so the first video. Oh, my disclaimer. How can I keep getting that disclaimer? Why do I keep doing this? This video that you watching right here. This is not to motivate you, influence you, or encourage you to go out and get no old raggedy truck, cash truck, new truck, old truck, a halfway decent truck, a modern truck. It's not to tell you to invest in the trucking industry. Get no authority, get no trailer, none of that. I'm just simply watching some YouTube videos and comparing actual numbers. Okay? Now let's pull up the first video. See what on earth is going on out there. I seen this video. My man PH. Let's see what he got to tell us.
I wouldn't even say buy a cash truck. I'd say buy a new one. You know, so personally, because what people not talking about cash truck and cash truck, some of them get what 3, 4 miles to the gallon, 5. Maybe while you get newer trucks, 6, 7, 6.5, 7 point something. That's the difference, and that counts.
Newer trucks 6, 7 miles to the gallon. Older trucks 3, 4, 5. Is it true? I don't know about the 3, 4, 5, the 3 to 4, but 5 miles to the gallon. Yeah, you got a cat engine C15. You could be around 5.5, somewhere right in there. Newer truck 6, 7 miles to the gallon. You know, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Let's see what my guy Ronan over there, I believe ET Transport. Let's see what he got to tell us.
Is our aerodynamic truck. Okay, so our first unit we're going to pull up is unit 677, and over the course of the entire year, okay, this driver drove 120,000 miles. Okay, so this is a mediocre driver. It's not nothing crazy. It's not a team or anything like that. 120,000 miles, and I'll post up the data over here just so we can compare unit to unit. Okay, so 120,000 miles is what this driver drove, and his average miles per gallon is 8.2 miles per gallon. Now, if you think that that's a lot over the course of the year, this is probably one of the higher ones. So most of our Cascadias with Detroit and the way we spec our trucks, they fall into this category. They're usually between 8 and above. I would say 8 to 8.5. But when you take the information for the entire year, then numbers kind of go down a little bit. It's very hard to maintain 8.5 throughout the winter months and summer months. Okay, but
Okay, so he got the latest greatest shoe shine truck, probably a 2025, 2024, 2023, whatever the case may be, is running a DD15 engine. Driver did 120,000 miles, and pretty much the truck got 8.2 miles to the gallon. Okay, let's continue on to one of these old raggedy trucks. So let's go. We got a W900. Tell us about the W900. Look like it's at 6.2 miles to the gallon. Talk to us, Ronan. Let us know what you got going on right here.
at this driver's fuel consumption. Okay, so the driver drove over the course of the entire year from January 1st to January 16th, sorry, to December 16th, because that's today's date and that's all the data that I have. The W900 that I'm going to choose right now drove 120,000 miles. To be exact, it drove 119,335 miles. So we'll round it up to 120,000 miles. And the driver spent on fuel $108,000. So So this is identical mileage to our first truck, okay, that drove at 8.2 miles per gallon. And this
Okay. So the first truck they got 8.2 miles to the gallon, and this non-aerodynamic truck got 6.2 miles to the gallon. Definitely appreciate Ronan with that data. This data come directly from his fleet. None of the data is false or fake, anything like that, and I 100% agree with the data. Okay, so we can see that the truck is less aerodynamic. Only got 6.2 miles to the gallon. I say my truck. 12.7. Guys, we all around about 6 miles to the gallon, okay? But 6.2, do you got something lower than 6.2 miles to the gallon there, Ronan? Let me see. Was this the last truck? Oh, wait, we got one more truck. What is this truck right here? Talk
drive this
to us.
Peterbilt, you make the comments, put it down below. Only you can decide. Okay, so let's take this next unit. This next unit was running at 6.4 miles per gallon. Driver drove 112,000 miles, and he spent on fuel $99,533. So this driver spent on fuel 88 cents per mile.
Okay, so this truck right here was a little bit decent. 6.4 miles to the gallon. The other one was 6.2. Okay, so about 6.2 is the lowest that you got. Okay, so tell us, maybe you could tell us what the difference is, money wise. Let me see. The yearly savings. Talk to
If you
us.
convert the $35,000 US, that comes out to 27,000 dynamic trucks. Now, again, I'm not here to sell you Freightliners, okay? I'm not here to sell you any trucks. But remember, the aerodynamic trucks, we're talking about the Volvos, we're talking about the Freightliners, we're talking about the Kenworths, the next gens, okay? Those are aerodynamic trucks, and that's what you should be looking at, especially if you're going to be doing long haul. You might as well buy yourself those trucks and save yourself that $35,000 per year. And if you convert the $35,000
Wait a minute, we missed something. 35,000. We gotta go back. I heard something about 35,000. Go rewind back, Ronan.
spend per mile on fuel. Now, what does that equate to? So we're talking about 30 to 35,000. If you're going to take anything from this video, this is what you take. If you buy any one of these flat nose trucks, you will spend 30 to 35,000 dollars per year on fuel. If you have nothing better to do with your money, please send your money my way, okay? Because I can definitely use it. So if you're going to take anything from this video, it's this point here. Is if you buy any one of these trucks with a flat nose, you will spend $35,000 per year more on any one of these aerodynamic trucks. Now, again, I'm not here to sell you Freightliners, okay? I'm not here to sell you any trucks. But remember, the aerodynamic trucks, we're talking about the Volvos, we're talking about the Freightliners, we're talking about the Kenworths, the next gens, okay? Those are aerodynamic trucks, and
Okay, Ronan. We definitely appreciate that information. We understand what you're saying. So if we get one of these latest greatest shoe shine trucks, we can get about 8.2 miles to the gallon. And if we grab that flat nose, like a classic, FLD 120, we get about 6.2 miles to the gallon. I definitely agree with him. Like I said, I'm personally, when I do my IFTA, my IFTA is at about 6.5 miles to the gallon, but for video's sake, we'll say 6.2. 6.2. Um, Ronan here gets 8.2, 8.4. That's great. Now let's take these numbers and let's just do some comparison. Let's pull some settlements and see if let's see how these numbers stack up when we use people that's not people that's out there running. Okay, let's see what's going on. Like I said, appreciate that, Ronan, for that information. We definitely could use that great game right there. Let me see some settlements and see what's going on. Alrighty. Now, what I decided to do, I went on my email, my AOL email, and I grabbed some of PH's old settlements. As you can see, the ones he personally sent me, just back in the day, not nothing recent, just some back in the day settlements. because they are pretty much the same fixed cost, same truck, same, if he how many miles he drive, how much fuel he put in the truck. We just pretty much look at the settlement, and I'm not gonna bore y'all with all these settlements, but pretty much you go to anybody's settlement, you can see how many miles they ran, because at the bottom of the settlement it's gonna say total miles that they ran for the week, 42,000, 5,500 miles, 5,000, it'll say it on their settlement. And then it'll say fuel card, and you can see everywhere they got fuel from. And you just simply divide the numbers and get the miles per gallon. Now that we understand that, how we come up with these numbers, I'm going to show you. We're gonna take pH settlement, and we got my man 50 miles work over there at Super Ego. Y'all know he recently sent me his settlements. Let's pull it up and let me just see what on earth is going on between these guys. Let's go to share screen. Let's look at the comparison. Boom, here we are right here. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the numbers. And let me see what's going on. Bring it on the big screen. Okay, we got Truck Super Ego. That's my friend, 50 miles. We got three of his settlements. We got three of PH settlements with the settlement number right there. PH will go look at it for himself. Pretty much, let's take it from the top. 50 mile did 4768 miles, got 598 gallons of fuel, got about 7.9 miles to the gallon, a little bit under Ronan. Ronan was at about 8.2. Looked like he had a bad week on B. He only got 5.1 miles to the gallon. We can kind of exclude that, he had a bad week. But the next week after that, he got a 7.8. So my man, 50 miles, he got a good fuel efficient truck. Basically, he averaging about, 7.8, 7.9 miles to the gallon. Go down to pH. Let's see, 2,966 miles, 443 gallons. Doing about 6.7 miles to the gallon. Next week, 6.6 miles to the gallon. Then he had a better week. Somewhat. Now this particular check right here was two checks in one. So we'll just take 7.7 miles to the gallon. We're just okay. Look, he done 7.7. My man doing 7.8, 7.9. Let's just take the middle number, 7.8. So 7.8, that's the middle number. We gonna go with that right there. So they getting 7.8 miles to the gallon, according to their settlements. We just look at the settlements. That's how we get. We just go look at their settlements. 7.8 miles to the gallon. Now I already told you, hey, I'm down there at 6.2 miles to the gallon. I'm at 6.2, right? Old raggedy hood truck. Ronan then showed you the data. He showed you the data. I agree with the data. So okay, Andrew. So they are getting better fuel mileage than you. Of course they are. They do 100%. If I go out and get me one of these new trucks, cash money, I increase my fuel mileage. Everything makes sense so far, right? Do we all agree that up until the 13-minute mark of this video, everything made sense? Oh, it's just one problem. It's just one problem. Hey, Andrew, what do you mean it's just one problem? Hmm. We got to look deeper into it. We got to look deeper into it. We got to include the deductions. Andrew, what do you mean some deductions? Oh, no, 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 no. See, in order to get 7.8 miles to the gallon, these guys got to pay some money to do that. $1,000 week truck notes. Just for example, they ain't got no zero truck note. So let's just take a look. Let's go look further. Let's deep dive off into the numbers. See what's really going on out here in these trucking streets. Now let's take a look at the Super Ego driver. These are his weekly fixed costs. We got this straight off his settlement. Let's take a look. Let me bring it up bigger so everybody can see. Super Ego is charging him 650 a week for a truck note. Now I understand, depending on if you work at Super Ego, some of y'all paying more than that. But we talk about him. He paying 650 a week. His trailer is 225. His insurance is $511. That includes bobtail and all that stuff. Then he pays $500 for ELD administration fees and whatever else they tack on into all that stuff. ChatGPT just kind of grouped that down into one category. Oh, carrier fees. So that's that. It says carrier fees at the top up here. So that's gonna be his split. I don't know what his split is. It could be what is Subigo 75-25. I think he's on. I want to say he's not on 75-25 because he's been at Subigo a minute. I want to say his split is like 88-12 or something like that. But that's his fixed cost. That's his fixed cost. I don't see nothing wrong with the fixed cost. Y'all don't see nothing wrong with it. Let's look at PH fixed cost. Let's go and see one person at a time. One person at a time. Fixed cost is important. We gotta know what these guys are paying weekly. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is PH fixed cost. Make sure his company name or nothing like that is in there. Okay, we ain't got no company name, nothing like that. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's see what he's paying. Truck note $949 a week. Trailers $235 a week. Physical damage and occupational accident insurance is running $299 a week. Then he got $150 for the ELD clock or whatever they want to call it, up to $35 a week. And then he pay a truck mileage fee. Now that goes up and down, depends on how many miles he runs. Um, it could be plus or minus from 20, I say $250 up to about 350 if he just do a regular week. But on average $1,970 a week. So these are the fixed costs. His truck, 7.8 miles to the gallon. Okay, so we all agree up until this point. They both get 7.8 miles to the gallon. I got one of them old raggedy trucks, my old raggedy truck, 6.2. Rolling shoulders. Rolling. Rolling showed you the data. Okay, Andrew, so what are you getting at? Okay, so yeah, that's their fixed cost. You know, okay, so what are we getting at here, Andrew? Oh, you ain't figured it out yet, have you? We at the 17-minute mark. Y'all don't see the difference, huh? Everything just point to go get that new truck, huh? The new truck is better, huh? 2 mile more per gallon than the older trucks. Oh, is that right? Okay, well, wait a minute, hold on. Let's continue. Let's continue looking at the science, the data, the data. That's what this video is, just data. We not trying to encourage nobody to go get no cash truck, no old truck, new truck, none of that. We ain't trying to discredit none of these other guys, these content creators. We just looking at the data and the science, the paperwork. Okay, let's deep dive into it. Now, in order to help us all out, we are using AI, ChatGPT. You can use Grok, or you can do everything by hand, or you can use Gemini, whatever best helps you guys out. Now, I got the Super Ego Driver settlement loaded up with its fixed cost. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna ask some questions, okay? Let's see. I want you to compare this Super Ego Driver's truck and expenses to my older truck. Tell me which one is the better option. Let's say his truck is I don't know what year his truck is. We're gonna say 2024, baby, 2024 Freightliner. Okay. What else do we need to know about his truck? Okay, let's talk about my truck. My truck. And like I said, it's already got his expenses on that sheet. You'll see it in just a second. My truck is oh, wait a minute. We left something off. His truck averages 7.8 miles per gallon. Okay, there we go. Forgot the most important part. My truck is a 1997 Freightliner Classic. I average 6.2 miles per gallon. Okay, 6.2. You know what? I'm not even satisfied with 6.2. Let's just go down to 6.0. Yeah, I'm gonna go down to 6.0 miles per gallon. Okay, we don't come on now. We gotta help them out because they gonna say Andrew, we ain't getting 6.2. Okay, well it's 6.0. Let's just bring it down a little bit. Okay, Now, okay, let's go. My expenses. My expenses are, oh, let's break it down. Truck note, $0. If I rent a trailer, 225 a week. That's a drive in. These guys pull a drive in, so let's do drive in. What else do I got to pay? Insurance. My insurance, we'll say, is 300 a week. That's about what I'm paying right now. 369, 1200 a month. Cool. What else? We got truck note, trailer, insurance. We got the miles per gallon. My split. My split is 97 3. 3% goes to factoring. Okay. Now, of course, when they look at their settlements, it's going to already know what they split is and all that good stuff. Okay, let's just type that in and see what we come up with so far. Let's see what we come up with so far. This is ChatGPT, the paid for version. They just came out with 5.2. Let's see what we can find out. Got it. I can compare them cleanly, but to tell you which truck is actually a better option, I need two key inputs. Okay, what you need? We already know side by side. We got the fixed cost for the Super Ego driver. Cool. The split not stated. Okay, you need the split. Split for Super Ego driver. I think he's on 8812. Is he on 8812 at Super Ego? Or is it 8020? I'm gonna just do 8812. I don't know. I know what it is now, 7525, but we're gonna do 8812. Okay, boom. Oh, we missing something. We got everything locked in. What else does he want to know? Wait a minute, hold on now. Do that. Let's type that in. Upload that information. Boom. Okay. Let's see what it say. Side by side key differences. Super Ego 2024 Freightliner 88 to the driver, 12% to the carrier. Fits weekly cost 1886. Truck gets 7.8 miles to the gallon. Truck payment 650 a week. Admin ELD carrier fees about 500 a week. Cool. My truck 3% to go on the factory, and I get 6.0 miles to the gallon. No truck, no each weekly cost is 525. Revenue impact. This is huge. Let's look at 10,000 gross revenue as a simple example. Super Ego 8812. You keep 8,800. Me, I keep 9,700. Difference 900 a week per week in your favor before fuel and expenses. Okay, fixed cost difference. Well, we already know they got more expenses than me, of course. Um, can fuel savings close the gap? Close the gap. They're getting 1.8 mile per gallon. This is that saves fuel, but not enough in most real world scenarios. Even at 3,000 miles a week, $4 per gallon. This says my truck is going to cost me $2,000. His truck is 1538. So he saves $462 per week in fuel because he gets better fuel mileage than me. Okay, final reality check. Super Ego driver saves $450 to $600 a week in fuel, but loses $2,261 a week in split plus fixed costs. Your older truck is better by roughly 1,600 to 1,800 per week. Huh? We got to be missing some just ain't. Hmm. I'm confused. I'm just totally confused. Hmm. Let's compare the net settlement. Give me a second. Let me upload it. Let's compare the net settlement. Hold on, hold on. Okay, we got my man PH settlement loaded up. Compare this truck driver. Call it truck number PH. Yeah, call it truck number PH. Let's upload that. Hmm. Oh, I forgot to tell it to get 7 miles. Oh, wait a minute. This truck gets 7.8 miles per gallon also. Okay, there we go. Let's see. It's got all the weekly costs. Okay. It's got my weekly costs. Okay. Says his truck costs $1,445 more per week. PH truck must create at least 14.45 a week in savings or extra income just to break even with you. That's just to break even, huh? Hmm. Oh, what's his split? He on 8812 too, right? Okay, he's on 8812. Okay, this truck gets 7.8 miles to the gallon. Also, the split is 8812. He has 2025 Freightliner. Okay, there we go. Boom. Upload all that in there. Okay, let's throw all that in there. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Revenue, man, it's funny how these guys all get 8812. Hmm. 8812. Okay. We got to break that down in just a second. Okay, so let's see. Super Ego truck, we already did him. We see how much he. They both spend the same thing in fuel. It's the same numbers, same truck. Everything pretty much the same. Um, Split disadvantage versus you, 10K gross. Of course, I would take more than them because I'm on 3% the factory. We all know that makes sense. I'm just trying to see. They got me beat. They got me where they can get better fuel mileage, but it says the final verdict is the 1997 by a large margin. I'm just even with the worst mile per gallon, older equipment, and no warranty, you still net 1,800 more per week than either newer Freightliner setup. Why though? I'm just not agreeing with this AI. I'm just trying to figure out why your truck averages 1,800 a week in repairs or downtime. Hmm. Paid off iron plus high split beat shiny trucks over heavy overhead every time. Okay, well let's just do this. Let's say let's just say if all three trucks gross. Let's do a realistic number. $7,000 on how many miles is that? Let me think. 3,200 miles on 3,200 miles. $2 per gallon. What? Wait a minute. If all three trucks gross 7,000 on 3,200 miles, what will the outcome be? Let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. Great question. Okay, give me the signs. I just want the signs. I want the signs. What's going on with the signs? Okay, okay. We got numbers locked in. I'm at 6.0. They at 7.8. Mm-hmm. Okay. Fuel costs on 3,200 miles. My truck, I'm gonna spend more fuel than them. $2,100 in fuel. They had 1,600 in fuel. Okay, they saved $492. Okay, okay. Revenue after split. It says you keep $6,790. They keep $6,160. So 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 right, just between the split versus the fuel, they got me beat mile per gallon wise, but I got them beat just by having a better split. I'm at 97.3, they on 88.12. So just the split alone, the split by itself beats the fuel mileage. Just the split by itself. Okay, okay, I understand. Keep going. It says I will net $4,132. They will net $2,633. Hmm. I mean, I do agree when they show their settlements that they be they yeah, well they don't well actually well when they can get it. They can get it. We're not gonna say when they show these settlements that's what it usually be. But we know they can get it. If all the stars line up. Final outcome. Okay, so I can net more. The truck gets 1,500 more per week. Over a 48-week difference, I'll get $72,000 more just because of their deductions. But Ronan said 30 35. 35,000. That's what Ronan is saying, but he was talking about fuel. But Ronan didn't see. Ronan is talking from a when you own the truck because he's a fleet owner. Yeah, yeah. When you own a truck, mine is any deductions. Of course, if I got a truck that gets 7 miles, 8 miles to the gallon, I'm gonna come out better with my situation. Yeah, sure. But the problem is everybody ain't got their own authority with a brand new truck. Everybody they leased own. They got all these deductions and all that kind of kills the theory in this truck to get all this miles, miles per gallon. Okay. Let me see. Your paid off truck absolutely dominates. Okay, I'm just how can they beat me? How can they beat my truck? Let's just see what ChatGPT say. This is the right question. Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to figure out the only way the newer trucks can beat your truck right now at 7,000 gross, 3,200 miles. Um, so for them to beat you, they must close a $1,500 weekly gap. There are only four levers in the trucking economics. Okay, tell me how they gonna beat me? They need to lose. They need to gain 1,500 a week on average. That's 6,000 a month. They got to make more than me. And according to ChatGPT, they need me to blow an engine every 18 months. Look at this. They need me to blow an engine every 18 months. Sit 2 weeks per quarter. Now they got me there because Andrew just sit all year. Andrew just sit all year at this point. Just this year only though. Uh, has chronic emissions issues or drive that ain't got nothing to do with my truck. I don't have emissions. I don't have emissions or drivetrain issues. Um, the newer truck can only win by survival, not profit. So basically, they have to wait for my truck to blow up. They gotta wait for my truck to blow up. That's the only way they can beat me. They literally got to wait till my truck blow up. What if the truck don't blow up though? What if it blow up and we get it repaired? And then who's blowing an engine every 18 months? Who's blowing an engine every 18 months? I don't know about this chat GBT. Who blowing the engine every 18 months? If your annual repair plus downtime is under $50,000, you still win. What? Oh my God. If your annual repair plus downtime is under 50K. What do you mean under 50K? So you telling me so so I need to spend $50,000 in repairs per year for them to break even with me. But before I type that in, let me just scroll down a little bit more. Your gross rate must drop while theirs stay high. They got to get a higher rate per mile than me, and we know that's not going to happen simply because we all on the spot market. So that theory is out the window. Your fuel price is much worse than theirs. Okay, you pay 4.50 a gallon. They pay 360. Well, actually, ChatGPT is actually the opposite because neither one of these people believe in having their own fuel cars. So it's more so if they pay 4.50 and I'm at 280 right here up the street at Speedco. Yeah, I'm at $2.80. But we not gonna do them like that because that's stuff like that they can't really control. You take a work split or add its costs. Okay, we're not adding no truck note. We're not adding administrative fees. If I add an ELD fee, it'd be like $25 a month. That ain't no money. What will not make them win? Newer trucks are more profitable. That's a common myth. Newer trucks get better MPG. Warranty means higher profit. Hmm, is that right? Okay, let me type this in. Let me type that in. Let me see. So I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so it says I said, so I need to spend $50,000 in repairs per year for them to break even with me. It says, yes, that's basically correct. I'll show you why in plain, no BS math. Okay, well, show me the math. Using the 48 weeks more realistic. Okay, this is how much I'm saving every 48 weeks. So I'm saving $72,000 because they got more deductions than me. Totally get it. Okay. So why I said $50,000 earlier, because not all repairs are equal. Newer trucks don't get the full 1,500 a week back from repairs alone. Some of the gap can be closed by if they get better rate, better lanes, lower diesel prices. Yeah, but they can't control none of that. It says your combined repairs plus downtime costs has to hit 50 to $60,000 per year for them to just break even. That is insane. That's insane. What actually counts as repair costs? From what I see, they in my opinion, they gotta wait for the engine to blow, and that could be a long time from there. My thing is, even when the 12.7 blow, it's not a $25,000 repair for me. Depending on where I'm at, it could be. Oh, it could be. For it to cost $25,000, I need to either be at a dealership or blow the entire block to where I need a whole new block. So that's just my opinion. Hmm, just confused. So why come they can't beat me when their trucks get a better miles per gallon? Because I'm confused. Because miles per gallon is a small lever and you're winning on the bigger level. Oh, big level, small level, big level. Okay, I see it. Okay, keep going, keep going. What's better? Miles per gallon is actually worth real numbers. Yeah, I understand the fuel savings. It's not much of a savings. They save 500 a week, but the problem is the truck note is $1,000. So it's not really no fuel savings because they have to pay $1,000. Well, in PH case, he got to pay like $1,000 to save the 500. The super ego driver, which his truck note, what, $600 and something dollars? He got to pay $600 and something dollars to save the 500. I have to pay nothing at all because I don't have a truck note. It says they have heavy fixed costs. This finishes them. My fixed cost is 525 a week. And their fixed cost is 1900 a week. Now the whole is massive, 1400 a week. So they got me on the miles per gallon, but when it comes to deductions, yeah, I understand. I understand. I understand. Hmm. I ain't gonna bore y'all with this. Like I said, I'm just, not gonna bore y'all with this. But my thoughts on it is I need to get me a newer truck. Yeah, I need to get me a newer truck, man. If I go out and get me one of them latest greatest shoe shine Freightliner Cascaders with a DD15 to get 7.8 miles to the gallon, I go to the auction, get it for about 20, 30,000 cash, pay it off. I'm talking pay the whole thing cash up front. I will get 7.8 miles to the gallon, or like Rowan said, 8.4. And then with my 97 split and my little cheap trailer cost and insurance, well, insurance may not go up because it's a cheap truck. Will it go down or will it go up? Because they are them trucks safer or they, I don't know. We'll just say it's the same. So yeah, a better fuel mileage truck can help me. It ain't gonna help them. It's not gonna help them because it's because of their deductions. That's all. It's just their deductions. The deductions wipe away the mile per gallon savings. Appreciate y'all for watching this small demonstration. Everybody's not going to agree. I'm just running a little scientific experiment, man. Comment, share the video, like the video, get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. And shout out to the content creators for giving us all this good game. And ChatGPT also, y'all got to download AI, man. I mean, I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what you're waiting for. Peace.